If you've been on the internet, specifically YouTube or Instagram in the last few days, you've probably heard people talking about VERO, more notably, Peter McKinnon. So if you're watching this video after hearing about it, we're gonna be talking about whether or not VERO is the new app where photographers can grow and whether or not it's worth it. I'm gonna be going over some of the big problems with Instagram. We've all heard the problems with Instagram as photographers, so I'm not really gonna deep dive into it, just briefly glaze over them, and then I'm gonna talk about the benefits or the pros and cons, if you will, of VERO. So what are the big problems with Instagram? Real quick, the fact that Instagram has recently come out and said that they're going to be more video-based of a platform. Everyone's trying to keep up with TikTok. They do need to make money, and that's just where engagement and everything like that is going, and that is not the point of VERO. VERO is not an engagement or algorithm or advert-based platform. Instagram is. It is meant to sell stuff, so videos are more likely to get people to buy products. You can see a lot more videos and be entertained by a video and be on the platform for a lot longer watching a video than you would seeing a photo or reading a description. Video is just more engaging, and those apps like Instagram and TikTok are engagement based. Now, if you're like me and you started off using Instagram because it was a place to post your work, you've probably noticed a huge decrease or decline in engagement or people noticing, being able to find your work. I mean, they've changed up their algorithms so that only a fraction of your followers will even see your work. They show it to the people who they already engage with the most. So if they've already forgotten about you and they're just following you, chances are they're hardly ever gonna see your work again unless they decide to look you up. Or if you're posting a lot of reels and your reels are getting a lot of traction, then they might post that reel on someone you follows in their reel section, or if it's on your profile, it might actually populate on their explore page or on their friend page, however that user has it set up. So discoverability or people engaging with your stuff has gone way down. Now, I have only a few thousand followers and I used to get a couple hundred likes on each post. Now I'm down to maybe between 30 and 80 likes per post, very limited comments, and is someone who uses that app or is trying to build a business or brand within the wildlife and nature photography market. It can be incredibly frustrating and makes the game a lot harder, especially if you're not into video. I enjoy video, I enjoy sharing videos. I don't do any type of like real entertainment type of stuff, but my videos are more geared towards showing clips of wildlife, more cinematic stuff. So it's very easy for me to do. If I'm editing a video, I'll just take a clip of a moose or a fox or an elk, owl, and I'll just put a 5 to 15 second clip of that animal doing whatever that animal is doing and call it a day. So it doesn't take a whole lot for me to create and post reels, but for some people who maybe want to create sketches and stuff like that or don't understand Premiere, I can understand only want to post video or only want to post photos and steering away from the reels and wondering what you're going to do next. Now, what's the deal with VERO? So I'm only going to be talking about the photography side of VERO, but if you are curious or you do like posting videos like I do too, I'm going to talk about how you can do that and what that looks like within the app. So when you open up VERO, right away it'll be on the homepage and you can see all the photographers' work who have posted recently. This would be like your feed on Instagram, and you can go, swipe through here. We're all pretty much used to seeing this endless scroll feature. Now, in the all section, it'll show you all photos, videos, links, music, movies. And if you want a more in-depth look on how to use the app, because I'm not gonna go over how to use the app in this video, if you want that, you can actually click here to see my how-to video, or in the description, where you can wait to the end of this video and you can see whether or not it's worth it to even watch the tutorial if you're planning on downloading it. So what I like about it is, one, the people who are finding you want to find you. There's no algorithm, there's no real discoverability. You connect with people, people look at your work, you use hashtags or SEO to search for certain types of work, and you engage that way. It's more of a word of mouth based system and a hub based system, meaning that you follow certain photography hubs like Raw, Pictus, Podium, using their hashtags, and then they feature you, very similar to Instagram. Probably one of the best things that I like about the app is that it is a more close-knit network for photographers to communicate with each other. Let's say I see this photo from Podium Wildlife of this dolphin jumping up out of the water. This is the type of app where you could go into the comment section and you could write, what was the shutter speed that you used? What ocean was this in? You know, what type of lens did you use? It's those types of questions and engaging experiences where you're more likely to get a response on here because everyone's here for the same reason. Whereas on Instagram, again, it being brand building influenced, you're most likely not gonna get a whole lot of people who respond to comments like that because that's no longer what that app is used for. Even people and photographers, a lot of them who even I follow and claim that that's what they loved about Instagram and they miss how that Instagram was, you know, is no longer like that. Well, they don't respond to people asking those questions either anymore. So I don't know what they're talking about, Peter McKinnon. On this app though, you're more likely to get responses from photographers because it's photographers asking the questions. If you are curious or you're beginning and you starting out in photography and you have questions to ask, this is the best place, in my opinion, to do it next to just looking it up on YouTube, or if you feel inspired, talking to that person and connecting with them. And that I think is huge because it completely separates the mindset of this is just another social media platform and people running it like a social media platform. And I hope that continues to be the case because even when I was on TikTok before it popped off, that I preached about how that was a huge community building app where the people who followed you and you followed them, like everyone was talking with each other, and then the app blew up and now it's like no one responds to comments anymore. I still make it a point to try and respond to at least 90% of the people who comment on my stuff, as long as it's a comment worth responding to. As far as engagement goes with the app, it doesn't weigh into being discovered like it does on other platforms. There's no algorithm that is counting how many likes, how many comments you're getting or shares or saves, and then promoting your work to an explore page. You do have on the homepage of this, you do have a featured users, featured photographers, and new and noteworthy photographers who are growing. But again, it's a word of mouth based system. So people who are finding them, people who are sharing their work, that's how they're being discovered. They're not being pushed out like a trending page on YouTube or the explore page on Instagram, or even being pushed onto a For You page on TikTok because they're already popular and people are, you know, they're going viral or they're already famous. There's nothing like that. All the engagement that you get is a lot more genuine, and that's something that I've really grown to appreciate. And even when it came down to posting photos, itchy nose. I enjoy this because again, the people who I want to see are seeing it, other photographers are seeing it, and it's a photography based community, and that's who I want to see my work. That's who I'm showing it to on this app. Again, Instagram is more for people who aren't just photographers, but other people who are inspired by all things nature and the outdoors. But again, it doesn't really work if they're not showing it to, you know, the 3,000 people who already follow me, or and less than 10% of new people. So that's enough about that. It's annoying. I want to take a quick second to talk about the sponsor for this video, which is my 2023 calendar. If you're not following me already on VERO, Instagram, TikTok, or subscribe to this channel, go ahead and follow me somewhere on there, because in a few weeks, my calendar is gonna be coming and I'm gonna be doing pre-orders on that calendar. If you wish to support this channel, in the description below, there is a link where you can actually leave tips, because this channel is not monetized. So you can actually, if you think I'm doing a good job, you can tip to there, and that'll help me get new gear so I can create better videos and continue to grow this channel until I am finally monetized. So now let's go to the homepage, and there's something I want to talk about that VERO does. If you click on the photography on VERO, it breaks down how the photography world works on this app. So you can see here that you can get involved in the world of photography using certain types of hashtags, and they have things like hashtag Momo for Monochrome Monday, VERO Full Frame, where you can actually submit articles about your work and photo stories for a chance to be featured on the app, which is pretty cool. That's another way to get discovered, which you can't do on Instagram. Instagram is just too big, and they probably would never have a department like that. And then you have photography hubs with Podium, Podium Wildlife, Earth Now, Raw, and Pictas. And then again, VERO Featured, which is a changing space that they say on their homepage, bustling with award-winning photographers on a global scale, to new and noteworthy talent across a multitude of photography styles, curated by our editorial team. And then you can email getfeatured@vero.co for a chance to actually have your story featured, which I think is pretty cool, especially, you know, I know people who are photographers who have spent years, months working on a particular project, and they have to submit it to magazines, places like Nat Geo, to see if they'll pick up the story. And this is just another place where you can submit a story like that with the chances of it being picked up by them and possibly pushed out to more news outlets. So like I said, there's no algorithm. Another cool thing is you can post any crop format that you want. There is no cropping that they claim to do. So you post it, landscape, 11 by 14, 8 by 10, 4 by 5, 5 by 7, 1 by 1. They will leave it as is. It'll fit within the 9 by 16 framing of the phone. When you're scrolling through other people's work, it's not gonna crop it in so that, you know, like on Instagram, you have a 4 by 5 max crop unless you take down your photo and frame it within that 4 by 5. But then on the feed, it will crop it to a 1 by 1. And that's all people will see when they go to your page is a 1 by 1 thumbnail. And they don't do that here. You're gonna see the whole thing as it is. And then the next really cool thing is minimal compression. Instagram is known for compressing people's photos. And on here, I will say, like, if you click on a photo, let's say we're back to our dolphin photo, you have to click on it, and then once you click on it, you can actually zoom in and see that it's the full resolution or the highest resolution that they allow, and it's not blurry or pixelated like you would see on Instagram. If you zoom in on a photo, you can really see how compressed it is. But when you're scrolling, like even this photo of mine, you can see here, it's still slightly soft until you click on it, and then you can zoom in and you can see how sharp the image is. And that's another thing that I really like. With that being said, will I continue to use VERO? Probably, at least for right now. I know there's talks again about it being a subscription-based platform so that you don't have to see ads, but for the near future, depending on, you know, I'm curious to see where it goes. We'll say that. I continue to plan on posting on it. I continue to want to continue to connect with other photographers. Especially because I'm in the wildlife space, so seeing other people, where they're shooting wildlife, how they're shooting it, and learning from them, especially when it comes to animals that I haven't photographed before, I think it's a wonderful place to actually engage with people and get to know their styles and how they're shooting certain animals, and again, the locations at where they're shooting it. Just building a community or a more close-knit network. That is why I will be using VERO. I will still be using Instagram for other things, but that has a completely different, you know, purpose to it, which I already explained. And if for whatever reason this video has convinced you to give this app a try and you've already downloaded it or you're about to download it, go ahead and just watch this video next on my tutorial on how to use the app from the homepage to uploading your own photos and or videos.